It's official. The Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks will be fighting for the 2023 World Series. Both teams have relied heavily on rookies, the Diamondbacks including players like Brandon Pfaadt, who started Game 7, and Corbin Carroll, who's in line to win Rookie of the Year in the National League, headlining their team. The Rangers have done a similar thing with star third baseman Josh Jung, who made the AL All-Star team this year, headlining their team along with some other solid vets. But that's not who we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about a player who still has rookie eligibility going into 2024 and is likely to help lead the Texas Rangers to the World Series should they end up winning it. I'm talking about star outfielder Evan Carter. Normally on this channel, we talk about up-and-coming prospects who haven't made their major league debut, or we discuss trades that mostly have their grades settled or prospects are still coming up through the wings, so we can talk about them a little more in depth. But Evan Carter's had a very interesting path to the major leagues, and it's one that is really kind of unconventional. On the surface level, it seems pretty straightforward. He was a second-round pick who the Rangers really liked, and he ended up shooting up prospect ranks to be a top 100 prospect, top 10 by most systems, and now he's making an impact at the major league level. But that's just the surface level. To really understand why he's been such a hyped prospect when, in reality, he wasn't hyped at all coming out of high school when he got drafted in 2020, is a story in itself and is the purpose of this video. So if you're interested in more content like this, please go ahead and hit that baseball in the bottom right corner if you're on mobile, or you can go and hit that down arrow on TV and select that baseball to subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot, helps my channel grow, and you get more baseball content like this and others from other awesome content creators in the community. Without further ado, let's talk a little bit about who Evan Carter was as a prospect and how he rose to prominence as he has today, because when he got drafted, no one considered him a top 100 prospect. Looking at Evan Carter's postseason stats, it's very easy to see why he is an exciting prospect and someone that Rangers fans are very, very excited for as they go into the competitive window, which frankly kind of just started this year. So far in the postseason, through 39 at-bats and 12 games played, he has a 308 average, an on-base percentage just below 450, and his OPS is just below 990. That is incredibly impressive, especially for a rookie. He has been dominating in the postseason, already with 3 stolen bases, and half his hits have been doubles. Any seasoned vet would love to have those numbers, so the fact that a rookie who will still be rookie eligible in 2024 has put up those numbers is staggering. He's going to be electric in 2024, and in my opinion is a front runner for 2024 AL Rookie of the Year. Given that Carter was a second-round pick, 50th overall in the shortened 2020 draft, where teams only had 5 rounds to make a pick, you would expect him to be a solid player and a prospect that people are excited about, but unfortunately that couldn't be further from the truth. Baseball America didn't have them on their top 500 prospects heading into the draft, and MLB.com didn't have him in their top 200 either. You can see in the video, they didn't have a photo of him when he ended up getting selected by the Rangers. That's just how unheard of this prospect was, and Evan Carter's definitely proved those doubters wrong. To see just how shocking of a selection this was, let's take a listen to Dan O'Dowd, MLB Network analyst and former MLB general manager of the Colorado Rockies, to see what he thought about the selection by the Rangers.
There are certain players for me, Greg, in every year's draft that should go to college. When my first blush at him, and they saw him a lot more than me, was that he's a guy who should have gone to college.
O'Dowd, who has a lot of experience in MLB front offices, thought it was a good idea for him to honor his commitment to Duke University to play collegiate baseball. Obviously, with the benefit of hindsight, things ended up turning out really well for Evan Carter, but it's hard to turn down $1.25 million as a high schooler. I don't blame him at all, and although a lot of times you do see high schoolers not pan out, they do have a lower success rate than college players. I'm very happy for Evan Carter to see that he's becoming a bona fide superstar, not only in the minor leagues and the prospect realm, but now he's on a national stage in the playoffs. Props to area scout Derek Turner, who is really someone who scouted him in Tennessee, where he went to high school, and determined that he was someone worthy of a second-round pick when a lot of people did not have him on their radar, especially in a 5-round draft. That's just really impressive scouting, and Derek Turner is a name to keep an eye on as you see people get called up if you're interested in learning or getting to know a little bit about people and their evaluation and how the MLB hierarchy works in terms of the front office and scouting. He was obviously very hard to grade coming into the draft because there just wasn't a lot of people who in the industry had saw him and put an honest grade to him that wasn't write him off, he's not someone worthy to be drafted, let him go to Duke and see how things will turn out there. But now that we've had a lot of time to watch him in the minor leagues, it's obvious that he has 5-tool potential, and he's almost living up to that. His hit tool, as you've seen in the postseason, he's hitting above 300 and did so in the regular season as well, is definitely close to elite, and that's something that will carry him very well through the major leagues. His power is about average. He might hit for 20 home runs a year. That's just kind of how he is, but he has plus speed, and that translates very well into the field. He is a plus defender. He won the minor league gold glove in 2022 in center field, which there are a ton of quality defensive center fielders in the minor leagues. and he has an arm strength to back it up as well. It's not a plus arm, but it's enough to get the job done in center field. And that running speed also translates to the base pass. He has a couple steals already this postseason, and that's going to continue on as he goes and develops and matures and grows into his body. Right now, he is only 190 pounds at 6'2", so as he bulks up a little bit, gains a little more strength, he might lose a little speed, but maybe the power comes in exchange. So there's a lot of potential with Evan Carter. With the minor league season canceled in 2020, he ended up starting off in single A in 2021, which is a little aggressive for a high schooler, especially because he's only 18 at the time. But he really showed how good his plate discipline was, which is one of those non-5 core skills that I find really important in a player. His on-base percentage was a .438, which is really high, especially considering his batting average was over 200 points below that. He walked a ton, he had a very good batter's eye, and that gave scouts a taste of how good he could potentially be. So looking at something like on-base percentage, their walk rate, and their strikeout rate is something very important for me when I evaluate a young prospect. And although he did strike out a little bit more than I'd like, it's definitely not too extreme, especially considering he was young for single A at the time. So although 2021 wasn't a breakout for him, it was a solid enough foundation that the Rangers could say, you know, we have something on our hands. Let's work with him. Let's develop him. Let's get that hit tool a little better, because at this point, scouts didn't have it graded super highly, and we'll see how it develops from there. His OPS was above 800, which I think is a good threshold for the minor leagues, but he needed a little bit more push. He needed to have a little more success, and that's exactly what happened in 2022. Evan Carter spent most of 2022 with the Hickory Crawdads, the Rangers' high A affiliate, and he put on a clinic en route to the Rangers' minor league player of the year, a center field gold glove for the minor leagues, and just shooting up prospect rankings, and rightfully so. He dominated being young for the league with a .287 batting average, a .388 on base, and an OPS above 850, which is really impressive for someone who at the time was only 19 in high A. He also swiped 26 bags, which is really impressive for someone, again, only 19, just showcasing his speed. The biggest factor for me and why I was really, really excited about the future of Evan Carter is that he brought his strikeout rate to below 20%, which is really incredible, especially for someone young for their class. The fact that Carter got it below 20% when a lot of other prospects his age would have strikeout rates 30, 35%, maybe even 40% was a really, really good sign that he was putting the pieces together to be a breakout star. And that's exactly what happened. He shot up prospect ranks like crazy because he was able to show that he has 5-tool potential. No one would doubt that he has stellar defense, which can carry you to the major leagues, but you kind of have to hit. Center field's a little bit more forgiving, and he definitely will stick there long term, but you really should hit to make an impact at the major league level. The fact he was able to walk as much as he did, 59 walks to 75 strikeouts, and the fact he's able to continue to hit and slug with 11 home runs, he hit 18 doubles. He was able to go and put things together with 10 triples. Things were coming together. He had speed. He had defensive ability. He could hit a little bit for power, not a ton, but enough. And he could hit. That is a recipe for a successful major leaguer. And people started to realize that Evan Carter is a guy you want on your team, and he really should be the future of the Texas Rangers. And now in the playoffs, we're seeing that come to fruition. For those of you that watch my videos regularly, you know I often talk about the jump between single A or high A to double A as the hardest to make in the minor leagues. That is basically what's universally known around baseball. Evan Carter crushed it in 2023 after he made the jump from high A to double A straight out of the gate. I want you to sit and think about how a 20-year-old with an on-base percentage of .411 in double A feels to you. Just let that sink in. How old are you now? Probably older than 20. I know I am. I know most people watching my videos are. So think about that. Hitting .411 in double A as a 20-year-old is absolutely unheard of. He crushed double A, and that's exactly why after only 8 games in triple A after getting called up, which he also dominated with an even higher batting average, a .353 batting average, .436 on base percentage, he got called up to the major leagues. There's no question that he is a superstar in the making, and the Texas Rangers are going to use him as a centerpiece of their team going forward. With the World Series rosters just being set today, October 27th, also Game 1 of the World Series, we are in for a treat. Whether you're rooting for the Diamondbacks, rooting for the Rangers, or just rooting for a good series, take a moment to appreciate Evan Carter as you're watching him now. Oftentimes when the season starts, we aren't really able to watch anyone other than our team, and Evan Carter is going to be a superstar. So watch him patrol left field, maybe sub in center should Leody Taveras need a break or something happen during the game, and see him work. He's a budding superstar, and with no disrespect to my personal top 2 prospects in the game, Jackson Holliday and his Rangers teammate Wyatt Langford, I think Evan Carter is going to win the 2024 Rookie of the Year, and he's going to run away with it. He is a force to be reckoned with on the baseball field, and I encourage you all to just sit back and enjoy the show. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate the support you guys give me. There's going to be 2 videos that pop up here on the screen. Feel free to click one of those if you're interested in watching more baseball content. And there's also that baseball right there in the middle. Or if you're on TV, you can just go ahead and scroll down and hit that baseball to subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps out. And it's really, really appreciated. And if you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe later. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.